Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, or whatever the hell it is. I don't know, Kuv. Freaking Canada got dusted. I'm not happy. How you doing, buddy?
Which one? I'm looking at. I'm doing okay. You're the one in need of a little TXM tonight. Huh? Yes.
Yeah, that was absolutely disastrous. But I know how to make myself feel better. I come on Kuv The Kang with my buddy Kuvs. We bring on a couple of guests. We have a little fun with our guests that are joining us today. We talk to the people in the chat, and we just chat a little shit, man. That always makes somebody feel a bit better, doesn't it?
Yeah, nothing wrong with chatting shit, is there?
Nothing wrong with chatting shit, and we got some experts at chatting shit. But we went far south to get these ones today. We are here with an American takeover this time. We're being invaded. Canada is finally being invaded by the Americans. What do you think, Koofs? Should we bring them on?
Might as well. The thing is, it's easy to overcome Canada nowadays, isn't it?
Wow.
Little dig there at the World Cup there for you.
Wow. Yeah, that was below the belt. Yeah, that was way below the belt. Yeah.
Look at it this way. You will care about the World Cup as much as I do
now. If that means between 0 and none, it's hovering around there, I guess, depending on what happens on Tuesday. But let's see what the boys in the background here are doing. Folks, please join us in welcoming Mr. Jacob himself from United Spurs of America. And Howdy. We got Mr. Leo and Mr. Parker themselves, the boys from over at Mile High Hotspur. Good evening, Americanos. How you doing, boys?
Hola. I'm doing well.
Parker's rocking the U.S. jersey, too.
Oh, yeah. Mile High Hotspur is a little divided right now.
I could see because Leo's draped himself in the great St. George's flag.
Yeah.
Who?
That's right.
Who's St. George?
I don't know, some
patron saint of England, but apparently probably came from Palestine originally, so it's not really very English.
I thought it was
we tend to do that.
Yeah,
royalty from another country, patron saints from other countries.
So
we can't find our own things.
There are a lot of Americans that do support England, though, because the Premier League mostly. So Leo's definitely not alone in that feeling. So, but I don't.
Look, I think
Parker, it's all good.
Say that again.
I was going to say the Premier League is probably the most diverse. Okay. I wasn't sure if he was talking to you or me. No, I was just saying, I don't know. I'd say the Premier League is probably the most diverse league as well. So you're going to have fans all around the world, right?
That's good point.
Yeah, but let's just quickly say hi in here. George is saying his prediction for the England-USA game will be 0-0. George, I think that you might be on to something. Get a lottery ticket. Scott M., good afternoon, everyone. Scott is clearly not feeling well because normally that comment comes with good afternoon, everybody except Bobby. So, Scott, I hope you feel better, brother. And Carl's in the house already. 5 guys. Hopefully all 5 of you are watching. All 6 of you, if you include Carl. Oh, Canada, our home and native. Oh, yeah. Wasn't a great effort, though. Wolvesy, good to see you, my man. Thanks for joining us. But that was a hurtful result, man. That was hurtful. Chris is here. Big up, Chris. And yes, Big K is still going to come after you. Kuva throws the first punch, and it landed. It hurt.
Where was the first punch thrown?
He already threw it below the belt. Yeah, he already said it's not even hard to overcome us. But you have another American, one of your compatriots is also here as well. Ian's in the house already.
Big up, Ian Ferguson.
And Patty Hartnett is here already as well. Nice to see you, Patty. So thank you for joining us this evening. And Ian's just saying, Scott, feel better, man. Yeah, Scott, something's up. Chris beat us to it here already, but here he is already, the man of the hour. Big up panel. Just had a birthday curry with Dago, Danny, Alex, Stell, Iggy, Kaufman, Phil, woo, Kim, and Haz. Brilliant evening. So pretty much he mentioned everybody except for the 5 of us that are sitting here. So hopefully you had a good dinner, Bob. Coops.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's worth it. He's worth it.
Yeah. Okay. He's worth it. All right then.
So free, there was no Bob TV last night, was there?
No, that's not fair, right? So, gentlemen, we will need your help with this for a moment here. We do have a tradition over here on the 3 Spurs boys that when we celebrate a birthday, especially someone as near and dear to us as Mr. Bob Spur himself, we of course always have to sing happy birthday. So, gentlemen, for Bob Spur.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Not expecting that at all.
That's
That
nice.
was terrible. Happy birthday,
I'll
Bob.
do it.
Nice.
Yeah, happy birthday, mate.
That's better than the ones that you can get going to Chili's, you know. You can go to the chain restaurants down here and you tell them it's your birthday, they'll bring you a little piece of pie with a whole chain gang singing you a song. So I for one like that more. What you just
They
did.
just seem to embarrass people when you
It
go
is better.
for your
Apparently, I got to
birthday.
work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that the whole point, though? And I love the
Yeah.
fact, like, my mom's one of those people. Oh, do not tell the people in the restaurant that it is my birthday. Oh, no. Which is really weird because she doesn't have an Indian accent. So it's like, don't tell them. I don't want to be embarrassed. Then 30 people come over and sing. And she says, oh, no, this is so embarrassing. Yes, it's my birthday. No, please stop over here. Yes, take my picture. Okay. Yeah. I think everybody secretly likes to have their birthday sang in an entire restaurant. Toxic is here. Big up, Toxic. So what do you
Freedom
think,
is
Coombs?
still
Where do you wanna
ringing,
start?
brother. Mm-hmm.
It is.
Bald eagle still cacawing, my friend. Don't worry.
Okay, Mari's here, buddy. Canada still has the derby against Morocco. Yeah, the Dietrich's derby. He's Moroccan, right? You all know Dietrich's Kane, so he's that dire beating out of him. Yeah, well, buddy. AE's in the house. Big up, AE. Good to see you here, man. And of course, there you go. Chris is saying big up to you boys all the way over in America. And yes, Bob, you know you loved it. And anytime you want a rendition for you, buddy, it's just a button click away. You can always ask for your birthday song. And piss off from Wolvesy. And man, you guys are faster than me today. Jeez. Wow. Addy, just fucking stop, okay? All I know is Canada played better than Ireland this World Cup.
I guess you could say the one good thing about that game was they made history, even though they lost. Canada,
they
with
finally
their
scored a
first
goal.
ever goal as a nation in the World Cup. That's kind of fun.
And Modric looked good. That's always nice to see.
Oh my god, yeah.
A few players with similar hairstyles. That was fun to see.
There was a lot of interesting hairstyles, but let's get on with this one here first. A very disappointing start off to my day here. Coos, did you watch any of this?
No.
Wicked. Boys,
Literally boycotting every game.
everything, eh? Not even the England
Why?
ones?
Political reasons. And my oldest son is LGBTQ, so if I support him in his lifestyle choices, I can't really sit and watch a World Cup in Qatar and with a clean conscience. So I'm boycotting it to show moral support.
Good for you. I would definitely agree with that, man. Yep, your son is definitely more important than a World Cup.
Yeah.
At least some would say. I don't really know how you really feel about that, but that's. I
had to boycott the last World Cup, same reason. So I haven't watched World Cup football in for 12 years now. Well, 8 years, I should say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you'd have no interest towards it, though?
Nah, couldn't
No,
care less. It's all about Spurs.
I think a lot of people are in the same boat.
Yeah, international football died for me years back. It just hasn't been fun for a long time. It seems like playing for the sake of it now.
Boys, what about you guys? Did any of you get a chance to watch this game today?
I saw some highlights, like Pulisic got an assist, I think, so that was nice to see.
No, I'm talking about the Canada-Croatia game.
Or not, I'm not Pulisic, I meant
Perisic.
Sorry.
I think he got 2 assists, did he not?
Did he? Okay, see, I didn't watch it. I just saw a couple highlights, but yeah, I didn't watch the game. But Perisic, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Been watching too much USA recently.
Don't blame me, buddy. I'd be happy down there as well. You guys, you held up against a draw against England, and you put yourself in a position where if things go right, that you can get into the next round. But we'll be getting into that in a minute. What about you, Leo, Jacob? Either of you boys get a chance to watch this game today?
I saw the second half. I did not see the first half, so unfortunately I missed a little bit of history that Canada made during this World Cup. I did watch the second half. It was 2-1 when I started watching. I still had hope. I still believe there's a lot of quality in the Fawns, Alphonso Davies. I still believe Jonathan David could have done more. Tajon Buchanan, I didn't see him do. He looked more impressive to me in the first game. And maybe that just comes down to Canada's lack of experience. It looked like Croatia was just kind of big brothering them. And I think at the end of the day, sometimes teams will do that to you if you're not particularly ready or if you don't have the pieces that are ready. So this is just a good learning experience, I think, at the end of the day for Canada. Next World Cup will be in their home turf or at least nearby. So maybe they'll be more comfortable and they can do something a little bit more different. But it just felt like similar to how I felt when I watched Spain versus Costa Rica and it was 7-0. It was just kind of like, at what point do you stop beating on the little kid? It just felt like at any point, if the ref let that game keep going, it was just going to continue to be Croatia putting goals in. They were nonstop attacking. So it was, for a neutral, it was fun to see. For someone who's a little bit partial, because I know some Canadians and I know that it was a little bit of a heartbreaker. But
are they out now officially?
Yeah.
Are they knocked out?
yeah,
They are. Yeah, Canada are officially out. Yeah,
I think if you lose your first two games, you're pretty much not.
they're pretty
making
much done.
it. You're
Yeah,
done for.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But to be fair, Bobby, your guys' team looked really hot, coming into the World Cup. And I know when Parker and I had our stream and we kind of did the predictions, I think we both had Canada getting out of that group if I remember correctly. I'm really surprised that the results haven't gone their way, and they've been able to put it on to Mexico, they've been able to put it onto the US. CONCACAF is not the strongest confederation, don't get me wrong, but it's also not the weakest. And to be able to come out of that group in CONCACAF, qualifying how they did, because they were the first team out of CONCACAF to actually qualify for the World Cup, if I'm not mistaken, right? So the fact that I think as your neighbors down south, Bobby, we were expecting a lot more from the Canadians.
No, we were too. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think AE here has it right in terms of the appropriate comment to bring up, and that is him sitting here saying, "Oh, why did I bring that up here? How the hell did that get brought up? Where did it go here? I'm clicking on the wrong shit. I can't even. Right here, he basically say Canada started well, but it just seemed to piss Croatia off, and I think he's spot on because it seemed that we got that first goal in right away off the bang. And I honestly thought, wicked. Okay, here we go. These young boys here, they couldn't put the ball into the back of the net against Belgium with so many opportunities. They kept consistently pounding the ball towards the net. What was it, like 24 shots or something like that? By the end, 24 attempts. It was only like 4 on target, though. So they just need to find their shooting boots. So when they got that early goal, I thought the floodgates were going to open up. I thought what Croatia did to us is what we were going to turn around and do to them. But it seems like we did what England did against Croatia in the semifinal of the World Cup last time, where we got that first early goal and then just took our foot off the gas and let them start controlling the tempo and controlling the game.
And let's be fair. Croatia are a very good side with some exceptional players in it, so there's no real shame getting beaten by them.
They have a lot of Champions League winners too on their team. Right?
Yeah,
I think as long as Canada go out showing a bit of heart in their last game and go out showing they got a little bit of metal to them, I think give the fans something to cheer.
Like Jacob said, next World Cup, I think that they'll be even stronger, a little wiser too. So.
Yes, and that's the thing that a little wiser is you're right with Parker because they're very, very young team here. But I just want to let everybody know Scott M is in fact okay, guys. So thank God he is feeling okay. He was just being kind because he knows I'm probably in the same misery pool as him right now, and he'll be back to being his regular dick self next time. So thank you, Scott. We're glad you're okay, mate. We're glad you're okay. And Ian's saying, yeah, Modric and Perisic were class. And this is the thing, Kuvs, we always talk about these Croatian players seem to be ageless or seem to age like a fine wine where they get better in their older years. Thoughts?
Well, without having seen it, yeah. I mean, we know about the likes of Perisic from watching them at Spurs. We've always known Modric is a class player, but Croatia is one of these relatively small countries, only a very small population, but they keep churning out brilliant footballers. Yeah. Currently, Norway are doing the same thing. Similar size sort of populations, only about 5 million or so, and they just got to find a way of just bringing them out. It's almost spooky how they keep going. You think they just sort of run out of steam after a while and then fall into the wilderness, but no, Croatia keep churning them out. Got to be a lesson there somewhere in developing players, maybe.
Boys, your thoughts?
Didn't Canada release like a article about saying like we had bigger balls or something? I think I saw something about that.
One of you was already
silly.
quoting this article, and actually it was going to be our next talking point, but we can get
Okay.
into it right now, where we
Gotcha.
basically just said that Herdman, Canada's, Herdman's comments basically got Canada. Okay,
Yeah.
after 10 minutes, we could say fucked. So Jacob, please, yes, you know exactly what he said. So why don't you?
Well, it was
address
after
that,
the
mate?
Belgium loss, which was
Yes.
unfortunate because they did look pretty bright in that match. But right after that match, he brought them all together. Did a little huddle, said, "Hey, we deserve to be here." And the quote that is going around is that he said, "We're gonna go out there and we're gonna fuck Croatia. We belong here. Like, believe in ourselves." And so he's rallying the troops. And like I kind of mentioned before the show, I think the wrong troops heard the rally, because the guy who won man of the match, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, but he was quoted saying, "Yeah, thank you to the Canadian manager for giving us the motivation, because we really wanted to go out there and show who's going to fuck who's." And at the end of the day, a little World Cup banter is always fun between nations, but it sucks whenever the ammunition you're loading into the rifle backfires on you. So it was a clear example of that. It's unfortunate. I feel bad for Canada.
Yeah, unfortunately, it motivated the wrong team. I just wanted to quickly address my buddy here. This is a friend of mine from work, Alex. Good to see you and welcome, Alex. Appreciate you jumping in here, buddy. So Canada was up 1-0. They can't be running is that they're losing and making complicated passes, and that's what it seemed to. Instead of taking the pressure off of them scoring that early goal and getting that the monkey off the back kind of thing with the first goal, it seemed to have put them under pressure, and they didn't do anything further with it. Who do you think gets the blame here? Is it the players that kind of took the pressure on, or is it the coach's fault for telling them to not keep pressing and going forward? Or how do you guys feel about that, really? We already know Herdman was the reason. His lack of inspiration didn't go well. So
he some say he can herd men, but today he did not herd nothing.
He hurt men today.
He hurt the men. He didn't hurt them. He hurt the men. Also, sorry, I was reading the chat that's going on, but Herdman is honestly, I think he was a little in over his head. You guys were the best in qualifying for CONCACAF. So I thought at least, your group was strong. I didn't think Belgium, you guys deserved to win that game, but at the end of the day, hope you enjoyed the little bit of a break, Canada. You can go home early or rest up there or watch. What do you think the players do whenever it's just like, do we go out there and play next week? Do they still go out there for the pride and just try to get a couple goals? That's kind of what I'm interested to see from some of these teams that have pretty much it's not really. There's no mathematical chance that they can make it, right? Or am I wrong in assuming that?
No, they're done. They're completely done.
Yeah.
It is over because Morocco won today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So because Morocco won, then that Belgium's won a game, Morocco's won a game, and what the hell? Who the hell is the other team? Don't even care. Morocco, Belgium, and Croatia. Of course, Croatia won today. So Canada
did they, Bobby? Oh, well, you must have missed that.
Yeah, I must have missed that. Yeah. must have been thinking about something else. I like Serbia better anyways.
From my point of view, there's a lot of teams there that seem to have a good basis for a team. Like they might have a good midfield, like the United States do, but they seem to be missing a few key pieces to turn them into those teams that are going to go far in tournaments. Like I don't think the USA has a cutting edge. I'd say Canada probably doesn't either, by the sounds of it. So when you are on top, you've got to really make teams pay, and I don't think they've got that kind of quality. I think that's where they'll fall down. Someone like Croatia, they can be trailing for quite a while, but they've got those players that can unlock a defence in the blink of an eye and get a couple of goals out of nowhere. I think there's a lot of teams that just do lack that. And the teams that used to be the easy victories, the the Saudi Arabias and like that. They're getting better and better coached all the time, and they're starting to catch up. But it's going to take a while. But you're always on the lookout for the special players. But every country's got to say that. Trouble is, Brazil, the likes of Brazil, got loads of them.
Yeah, they're just stacked, aren't they? It's ridiculous how many some play. Even France, you look at their on paper, it's ridiculous how strong that squad is. But speaking of special players, we got some big guns in the house here. As Doot himself has showed up there. Big up, Danny boy. And a little bit of a blast from the past. I haven't seen this young man around in a while. So, Aaron, good to see you, my man. Hopefully you're well, man. Great to see you, buddy. So, and then I wanted to talk about this one, guys. I know, again, sorry, I'm kind of going away and not giving Kuva much here, but I want to know what you guys think so far is your most shocking result thus far in the tournament. You know, we have a comment here that where'd it go? Carl here, Five Guys has jumped in saying it's crazy that France are the only team that have won both their games thus far. So, you know, there's been some surprise results in this tournament. What is the one that stands out to you? Let's start with you, Leo.
Excuse me. I'm gonna say Saudi Arabia and Argentina for sure.
Big one.
I don't think anybody, would ever have thought that was gonna happen, and the way it happened, going down to the penalty for Messi, and then not the late show, but they won it a little bit later in the game, and it was definitely something that caught everybody by surprise. That would be my candidate for
That's yours. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about you, Parker? Do you have a different game that you would take, or
I have a couple. So I agree with Leo.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with Leo. I think definitely when you look at like the two teams, Argentina versus Saudi Arabia, like Argentina obviously have the better quality team, and it just kind of went down to like work ethic, at the end of the day. So that second half, they just had a better work rate in Argentina, and they ended up winning. So. And I think another surprise was the USA-England match. I mean, I know we're going to talk about that, but I was really surprised by watching the United States. I wasn't expecting a lot of like the fancy play that we kind of did. So that was surprising to me. And yeah, really happy about that result, to be honest with you. So
fair enough. And Mr. Jacob.
Wait
a minute. Sorry, just 1 second before you get into that, Jake. Who's that guy that we have? He plays midfield for us. I think he plays for Uruguay's international team.
I need to moisten my lips before I start trying to say that man's name. Catching me off guard. Rodrigo Bentancur. That game, it wasn't very sharp. Bentancur was actually very good in the game. I woke up at 6 a.m. to watch Sonny versus our man Rodrigo, but for me, that wasn't necessarily the most shocking result to me. One, I will say, obviously Leo's correct with the Saudi Arabia. I don't think not a single person in the world thought that Saudi was going to walk away with a win right there. Maybe like a crazy tie if you're a homer, but no way you thought that they were going to win that. So that's definitely the most shocking. I would say a good candidate though. Maybe Japan beating Germany 2-1. They got 2 late goals versus Germany. Picked up the first 3 points there in that group. So, and then they went and lost to Costa Rica. So that's a little shocking as well, because you think if they go out there and put a work on Germany, that maybe they could do something as well to Costa Rica. And big ups to Costa Rica. They went and got the 3 points, made that group extremely interesting. So those both are pretty shocking to me. I'll put those in there for a runner-up.
Kuva, I know you have. You said you've boycotted it, but anything that even just hearing the results?
Yeah, of course. I've looked at some of the results and things. I mean, the one that obviously stands out will be Argentina losing to Saudi Arabia, and I just had a brief look at the stats and everything. And what pretty much as you'd expect, Argentina with all the possession, loads of shots, didn't make it count. I think it's quite turn up that. From everything I heard, it sounded like Saudi Arabia really went at them and bossed them around and physically sort of manhandled them throughout that second half. Totally threw Argentina out of their stride. I think it's a kind of blueprint for a few other teams, isn't it? Argentina used to have the reputation of being a really rough and dirty side over many decades ago, and that reputation stuck for ages. So I find it quite funny that somebody else does the same to them, smash them around the park a bit, cheat, lie, whatever. Whatever you got to do to beat them, it's all good.
Do you think it'd be the equivalent of like when you see the cup games, especially with the FA Cup, when you see like the lower team, a team come from three levels lower and come and play a Premier League team, that they come in without any fear kind of thing because they have nothing to lose. They're expected to lose. You're expected to get battered. So it's like, fuck it. If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down swinging at least.
Yeah, I think it's that mentality, isn't it? You if you haven't got the ability, you've got to at least have the heart. You've got to have the fight. You've got to make them work for it physically, and then have a little plan there. Whether it's set pieces, corner kicks, whatever, free kicks. Try and make the most of any little chances you do get. Get your centre backs in for trying to get them the end of a cross from one of those set pieces. You never know. You can get these upsets at times. But you've just got to have a little belief in what ability you do have. And just give it 100%. It's a standard sort of thing to say. But when you're up against those big teams, sometimes they think they're just a little bit too good. Take it easy. If you bring the game to them and upset them, you can get something from it.
So it could be a combination of Argentina kind of going in there to expect a result and everything, and then they kind of got surprised with what Saudi Arabia actually showed up with.
Very, very easy to be complacent, I suppose, when you've got a team packed with, world-known stars. You probably you're not so much thinking you've got to work your socks off because somebody else can take up the slack if you're, not at 100%. But I suppose when you're the littler team, you've got to give everything you've got in you just to have a chance. And I think sometimes we pull all that together and teamwork can outweigh the talent sometimes.
Speaking of pulling stuff out and always being up for it, Stuart was just letting everybody know about your OnlyFans club, and I did put the link in the chat for everybody, so please do get over and support Kuva's OnlyFan. Guys, don't kid yourselves. He is overloaded right now, so getting on the live shows sometimes is a bit of a chore. You have to wait in queue, but it is worth the show. I guarantee it.
Yeah, so, running out of clean Y fronts, but the yogurt keeps going.
There you go. Fitzy's in the house as well. Hey, Fitzy, good to see you, man.
Oh, do you do live shout outs?
Yeah, why not?
Well, for me personally, the biggest shocking result thus far, I'm going to go with games I've actually watched. I'm going to go with today's game just because I was really, really, really excited and pumped up when Canada got that early goal and everything. And it seemed to, like I said, I thought that it almost lifted that bag of weights that these young players were carrying around with the pressure of the country on them and everything. And I really, really hoped that was going to kind of inspire them to bigger and better things, and that what they did to us was what we were going to do to them, where that first goal was kind of just going to be shellac them and get us that much needed win that unfortunately we couldn't get. And it'll be interesting to see what happens going into the last game. That doesn't mean anything now. Does he give even younger players a crack, or players that weren't going to be starting, or maybe even not even get any game time? So it'll be interesting to see what Herdman does there. What would you suggest he does there, Parker?
Yeah, I mean, you might as well just play your younger players just to give them a chance. But I mean, at the same time, you're representing your country. You want to do the best you can. I mean, if you've made the World Cup squad, you're a decent player anyway. So you might as well let everybody get a chance to walk on that field and play a little bit. It's a good experience, even if you're not going to win or advance to the next round. So
just get a chance to get it on the pitch there. What do you think about that, Jacob? You agree with what Parker's saying?
Absolutely.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Shut up now! It's game time.
Oh, I'm sorry there, Jacob. It seems that we are at the 30-minute mark, which means that it is game time on Kuv The Kang, which means the conversation stops where we're at, and it's time to get into the game. I cannot turn my partner down when he says it's game time. The man shows up with that kind of emotion. You have to feed the beast. And that is a beast that I love to feed. It's so sexy and beautiful. So, gentlemen, we're going to do a quick little game called Quickfire. It's very simple. I will give you 2 options. Based on your answer and how fast you answer, you will get points. Did we figure if the points mean anything yet?
It's all right. It'll be fine. We'll wing it.
Just same bullshit as usual.
Yes, same bullshit.
Okay. All right. Okay. And yes, the points do matter. We'll be calculating them and figuring something out. So, gentlemen, I got to ask you: are you ready for Quickfire?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Jacob, since you were so rudely cut off, I have 3 quickfires ready for you, individual ones for each of you, and 2 are U.S. versus England players, and 1 is teams against each other. So, what category would you like, sir?
The last one. Let's go with the last one.
You want to go the teams?
Yeah, let's go with the teams.
All right, the teams is very simple. I'll give you 2 options for teams. You pick what you think is naturally the better team. So it's very simple.
Who I think is better, or who I want, or who I like.
Doesn't matter who you like; it's who's better.
Oh, but in my biased opinion, who's better?
No, your biased opinion means nothing. It's all about statistically. We stack these games to basically give the answers that we prefer, and if you don't, then you get points deducted. But because you're just so fucking gorgeous, you already got bonus points.
Oh,
and because
is it the freedom stash?
You got a freedom stash, you got a bald eagle bonus going here, and you got the Bentancur. Triple points bonus already lined up.
That's the points already.
Oh, one more time, Jacob. One more.
Bentancur.
Did you want a minute, Kuva? You okay?
Take the cam off for a second. Y'all always got some tissues handy at the computer.
That's it, baby. This is what happens when your kids get bigger, okay? Yours is little still. You can get away into separate rooms or hide him in another room. Okay, we got to lock ourselves away. Okay, MLS teams versus the EPL. Here we go. Toronto FC or Tottenham Hotspur?
Tottenham.
No. This is just for Jacob.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was quick fire for everybody. My bad.
You all got. I made one for each of you.
You're the first time I played, you
got your own one.
I'm learning. Okay, go ahead, Jacob. Sorry.
He's eager.
That was an easy one anyway. It didn't even matter. So
it's always going to be Tottenham Hotspur.
You'll see a theme to this pretty quickly here, Parker.
Okay.
Houston Dynamo or Brighton Hove Albion?
Brighton.
Sporting Kansas City or Leicester City?
Leicester City.
LA Galaxy or Liverpool?
Galaxy.
Galaxy's better than Liverpool.
When they want to be. If you take their all-star lineup, yeah, I'll put them against Liverpool.
Okay, sorry, just...
Liverpool right now. I'll put them against this one.
The minus sign?
I can't stand the Scousers. Go Galaxy.
Go Galaxy? Give him
hell yeah. Fuck Liverpool.
All right.
Yeah, he's right. Fuck Liverpool. Give him the points, man.
It's just how I feel.
All right, Kuva says give you the points. Chicago Fire or Man United?
Fire. Chicago Fire. They've changed their logo about 3 different times. They don't have the same washed up, dirty looking logo that Manchester United has.
Kuva gave you the points, bro. You don't got to define it. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Kuva gave you the points.
Plus, they don't have the same colors as McDonald's. McDonald's United is what I like to call Manchester.
That's going to be a bonus point if you ask me.
Another bonus point? You're generous.
Yeah.
Wow, you're fucking in a good mood, eh? Okay. Wow, Canada should lose more often. Kuva's in a great mood. DC United or Newcastle United?
Newcastle.
Atlanta United or Crystal Palace?
Crystal Palace.
San Jose or Chelsea? Trick question.
San Jose.
Great answer. New England Revolution or Everton?
Everton.
Inter Miami or Man City?
Inter Miami.
Bonus question. Big pile of shit or Arsenal?
Big pile of shit. I'll jump in it, playing it, running it, splashing it.
Dude, wow. You know what, Coobs?
You've got to give him all the points. Faultless.
I got him bonuses, too. There's some
Yeah,
serious
bonuses. It's going to be very hard for anybody to beat that.
Yeah, let me get the calculator out here.
I like this. I'm feeling good about my results here. Especially because Inter Miami rumored to have some links with Messi already.
Messi now, baby. That's crazy. That is absolutely
not going to miss a single.
And
Inter
the links
Miami
are
game.
strong, so maybe we'll talk about that for a little bit as well here. But not bad, Jacob. Out of a possible 50 points, you got a lot.
Nice.
I think he got a bit too cocky. Just give him 3 points.
There you go.
said
Take some
cocky.
away. You're right.
You said cocky. Oh, Jish.
Mhm.
And Parker or Leo, gentlemen, I will let you decide who gets to go next.
Rochambeau.
Parker.
Rochambeau.
Nah, Parker could go first.
Rochambeau.
Parker's next. Okay, Parker. Very simple. You get USA versus England players now. So,
Okay.
Casey Keller or Paul Robinson?
Robinson.
Steve Cherundolo or Jamie Carragher?
I don't even know the first person.
He was it was I think the 94 World Cup. He was your superstar in the back line.
Oh, okay.
Good player. Not Carragher level, but a solid player.
Yeah. Probably Carragher, just because I don't know that guy. Sorry.
Yeah, again, you'll see Parker. Most of this is stacked kind of thing with the answers. Yeah.
Okay.
Weston McKennie or Jude Bellingham?
Jude Bellingham.
Carlos Bocanegra or Rio Ferdinand?
Ferdinand.
Tim Weah or Michael Owen?
Owen for sure.
Serginho Dest or Trent Alexander-Arnold?
Trent.
Maurice Edu or Frank Lampard?
Probably Lampard.
Tim Ream or Gary Neville?
Ream did good, but I gotta go with Neville. I mean,
Gio Reyna or Gary Lineker?
Lineker, Tottenham player.
Clear shot. This is a trick one, so be careful here. Brad Friedel or David Seaman?
Seaman. I don't
Okay.
like. I mean, I know Friedel played.
I know this is a live cast, but we just did a 10-second rewind. Brad Friedel or David Seaman?
Okay, fine, Friedel.
Hey, good
I know-
answer. Good answer. Kuva, he literally almost got the first
So-
ever minus
yeah.
one.
I know they. I mean, I know that was Tottenham versus Arsenal, but still, I mean,
Yeah, it's-
I don't. I'm not a big Friedel fan. I know he's American. He played for Tottenham. I'm just not. Sorry.
What do you do with this guy?
So he
He's a
did
terrible commentator. When I listen to him, it makes me like cringe.
But his name, Friedel. I mean, freedom,
Freedom.
free eagle,
There's
free
a reason why he's
double.
not employed at the moment. Like,
No, he may not be good at any of that, but I just think his name alone bears a lot of weight because there's free in it.
Before we get on to Leo's question round here, by the way, Parker, you did very well for your debut on the show and your debut in the game. He got some points too, Kuva.
He did get some points, yeah.
No, he
good,
got lots of
good.
points actually.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
A lot of those players I
Uh,
didn't know because don't know a whole lot about United
Correct.
States old players. So
Yeah, some of them are like Edu. Reyna's a new guy. He's coming up, right? He's
Yeah,
doing
yeah, I know
well.
who that
Serginho Dest is there now. Weah's now.
Mhm.
Bocanegra, Cherundolo, Casey Keller. That's all the guys from your 90s teams, basically, right?
yeah, for sure.
Parker, whenever you want, bro, you can borrow the flag since you just picked all of the English players.
Hey, I'm still gonna support United States, so can't help it.
Actually, Scott makes an interesting comment. We were discussing this a few minutes ago, saying that we were thinking that maybe the youngsters will come out. But yeah, I don't think there are any younger players that have any quality that are really going to get a shout out. Our starting 11 is our young team. You know, you got a couple of handful of guys older in there. Junior Hoylett's up there now, and I know Atiba Hutchinson is up there now. And Stuart has a question just directly for you, Cougs.
Yeah, feels good. I've got no problem with Americans at all. So, yeah, cool.
Cool. I'm just going to bring this up quickly, but Jeremy, bro, I appreciate you coming in and making comments and stuff like that, but we try to keep shit positive around here, my man. There's no need to make comments like this, man. It's unnecessary and stuff, but if this is how you feel, it's just going to be ignored, brother, man. So if you want to get into the chat, you want to join the conversation, me, and have a little banter, have a little bit of a laugh, by all means, brother, we are more than welcome. So, you know, shit like that. Honestly, don't really want to be banning people from here. It's not something. I don't think we've banned. Have we banned anybody or kicked anybody? Nobody.
No, not that. Not that. Not that.
Not that I know. And it's Bob's birthday, bro. We don't want to be kicking people on Bob's birthday. Is this United? Is this Michael's in the chat or is this you, Jacob?
Who's that? I don't know. That's me.
Oh, that must be Michael.
I was just trying to be respectful and not say anything.
Yeah. I hear you, buddy. No, I appreciate it, man.
But
We'll
also,
leave this.
cacao, motherfucker, is what I gotta say. It must suck.
Okay, are you Scott? Are you sure you're all right, bro? Because he's agreeing with me now.
Mm.
He must be really feeling down. Scott,
He's off
this is
that
for you, brother. I love you, man.
He's off that syrup right now.
Nothing but love for you. Got nothing but love for you. Okay, now let's not leave Leo out here. It is Leo's time for quick fire. Leo, are you ready?
Just quickly on the comment about America hosting the World Cup. What was it, 94 when they hosted it last? Something
Yes.
Yeah. I thought they put on a great show. It was a really good World Cup.
And now all the stadiums are just 10 times better than they were at that juncture. So just think about it. Everywhere they're going to be playing is actually like a much more upgraded version, and they hold more people than any of those silly little tiny stadiums in England. So it's just great because our stadiums are bigger, they hold more people, there's more food that'll just clog you right up.
There's more fans too.
Kill you.
There's more of that greasy stuff. Come on,
we got
man.
lots of cholesterol for you here. Lots, baby.
But it's also grown the sport in America too since then.
100%.
So there's just going to be a lot more people involved. And, it's going to help our economy for sure.
I could see, you know what? I could see if
Guess
Jeremy,
what? It's
Jeremy's
free.
point
It's free
is
as well. It's freedom to dress however you want, act however you want. Just don't break the laws. Don't be
Drink
violent.
beer.
But you can drink beer and you can wear a freaking banana hammock
Rainbow
Speedo
flag
if you want. Come on.
It'll be in the summer, so
It's gonna be warm. Let them cheeks
it'll
out.
be when it's supposed to be. Yeah, and I think all those things you just said, Jacob, is what I was going to bring up. What might relate to what Jeremy's maybe trying to kind of to allude to, and the point that he's trying to bring is that these lesser nations almost are getting World Cups now. But one, I appreciate the fact that the game does have to grow around the world. But these are teams that have qualified for the World Cup, been in World Cups before. They're not teams that have just been handed a World Cup like this current situation right now. So I can understand the fact that you might be a little bit angry with it's going outside the traditional Europe powerhouses and stuff like that. But it's the only way the game's going to expand. And to be fair, brother, we're fans on this side of the world too. And I think we have every right to have the opportunity to be able to see a World Cup game in our lifetimes as well, because it's not as if many people over here can just hop on a plane and get themselves over to other parts of the world just to get over and watch a football game. It's just, unfortunately, not an option, right? So,
hey, Bobby, and also too,
not offensive. Here from Cali, fair enough, but he is an American. So, why do you not want to see the World Cup in your neighborhood, my man?
He's like,
Sorry,
I can take a taxi to see the damn World Cup final at SoFi Stadium, but no, that's an interesting take.
When you get when you're the host of the World Cup, that's an automatic bid, right? So does that mean the Canadians, Mexicans, and the United States, all three of them are got that automatic pass?
From my understanding, I read something about it, and it's been tweaked that they're saying all three will get a pass. But from my understanding, it was supposed to be two get a pass, and one was supposed to go through a qualifying, depending on seeding. Or I don't know how that's all going to work out. But I honestly, Leo, at this point, I think all three are just going to be ended up being seeded as host nation anyways. So it's impossible. Probably. And Scott's already answered. So yes, Scott. If anybody I trust to have this knowledge, it would be Scott. And so he's saying it is verified.
Well, and there's going to be more teams as well. It's going to be like a different format too coming up the next World Cup. So that probably kind of goes in hand with having all three teams automatically qualify. So and it's not,
you guys know,
of course, it's true.
I think it really helps that all three teams qualified for this year's World Cup. So there's like a bit of history there. They've shown they can do it in the past, whereas Qatar never been anywhere.
Yeah. And that's what Jeremy is saying. Basically, all three teams, and even Stuart saying all three will get a pass, and he doesn't think it's fair. Jeremy, I'm not going to argue with that one. I'm not, because I don't think it's right that a host nation is automatically put into the World Cup. I personally would like to see the format changed, where after you've qualified, you get qualified teams are the only ones that get the opportunity to host the World Cup. They decide from there, but it's impossible to prepare in that timeline then. So I can understand what has to go into preparing for the World Cup and everything. And it'll be interesting to see what happens. Jeremy's point here saying that it's more teams, more dilution to the sport, more shit devalues the tournament. Could be right, but then you get the Cinderella teams. But we're getting away from Leo's opportunity here to get some points on the board. Leo, it was 0.
We've given him time to revise the whole of football.
I said it was part strategy.
I WhatsApped him all
Poor
the answers
strategy.
actually already. Leo, are you ready, my friend?
Of course, my homie.
In case everybody forgot what we're doing. What the hell are we doing? Oh, yeah, quick fire. Okay, buddy, simple. Harry Kane, Landon Donovan.
Harry Kane,
Paul Gascoigne or Clint Dempsey?
Gascoigne,
Glenn Hoddle or Michael Bradley?
Huddle,
Ledley King or Eddie Pope?
Ledley King,
Ledley's on there, right. Wayne Rooney or Josie Altidore?
Rooney,
David Beckham or Christian
Easy.
Pulisic?
David Beckham all day.
Alan Shearer or Claudio Reyna?
Shearer,
Ashley Cole or Alexis Lalas?
I'm gonna take Lalas.
I liked him actually. Good head of hair
Yeah,
on him.
me too.
He's not a bad pundit. I actually like him. Some people don't.
And he's not.
Jordan Pickford or Tim Howard?
Howard,
Yeah, he did well for United as well. Steven Gerrard or Brian McBride?
Gerard,
Enough. And yeah, I could see that. Yeah, Kuba, he got points too.
Ledley King tattoo. He's won it, man.
Yeah, he's won. Okay, so according to Kuba, Leo won. We don't know how many points you got. We don't know how many points anybody got, but that wraps up quick fire for this week. So let's get over here and see what's going on here. Kuvs, where are we at, buddy?
I'm just trying to remember Alexi Lalas. Did he play the guitar as well or something like that?
Just stacking up Fitzy. Alexi Lawless?
Yeah.
The guy with like the long red hair, like
Yeah.
yeah, curly head of hair.
Seem to remember him
Oh,
playing the
that's-
guitar, or was it he just looked like he should be?
Yeah,
I like Ben Kaufman's suggestion here. What do you guys think about this? World Cup should be like Eurovision. If you win it, you get the next one. But then that means Brazil would have hosted, 5 by now? Germany would have hosted, 4 or 5 by now? And England would have hosted 1.
Then again, all of those nations perfectly capable of hosting it.
But is it fair that they would continuously get it because they're stronger soccer? I'm about to say soccer. Are they stronger footballing nations? Sorry.
It's called soccer now.
Yeah.
It's called soccer now. It's called soccer.
I suppose you could do it if the winner is the one already hosting it. Then you go to the runner-up host the next one. That'd at least alternate it a bit.
So it's not like.
But no, I think it's the right idea to alternate between continents. Like you were saying earlier, it's good for people to be able to go and have a chance to see the World Cup in their lifetime without having to go halfway around the world to see it.
And it shouldn't be about the highest bidder, who has the most money.
Mm.
I agree. I agree that the corruption part is bad, and the paying for your bid and the paying for votes.
Yeah.
All that is bad, no, icky poo poo. But what I will say is, I do think it's fair that if you're hosting the whole the whole shaboodle, you should at least host the thing. Look at Qatar; they hosted it. They're bowing out gracefully. There was no corruption. I was really interested to see if the refereeing might be a little wonky for the Qatari side, just to let them win a game or something. Who knows? Maybe we'll see it in this last game. But either way, they're not advancing. So, at the end of the day. Why not? Why shouldn't they have the chance? I was more curious about this World Cup specifically because there's only, I think, 3 stadiums I almost said Canada. In Canada, there's only 3 stadiums that are going to be hosting matches, so it's not going to be too much, and they're not going to be any finals or any playoff games.
No.
They're going to be just
all
strictly
group stages,
all
apparently.
group stages. And I believe the same is similar with Mexico. So that means primarily it's all going to be hosted in USA. So I was interested to see if it was just going to be USA or all 3 teams that get to qualify. But I'm glad that Mexico and Canada get to play as well, just because they're a part of it. They've always. I mean, how many times has Memo Ochoa become a meme because of some miraculous save he has versus a great like Lewandowski denied him, made it a 0-0. So there's. And I also think about like the families of some of these players or the friends. Now they can go to now they're like in Cincinnati. They could go to Dallas. They could watch a game. They could go to L.A. They could go to New York, and it cost them $250 rather than spending $2,250 just to fly over there and then stay in some hotel. Maybe they know somebody that lives in New York. Is highly more likely that. So I just think about from a fan perspective, a family perspective. It's better all around that the host country gets to at least participate in the World Cup. What's up, Scott? Oh no, I think he's referring to
Scott's
Alexi
calling you out here?
Lawless because we were on a show. We did a show the other day, and we pulled up Alexi Lawless predictions. They were quite fun. They were fun. I think I had USA winning the group, so he's already wrong about that.
Kuv, are you mixing up the guy from the Spin Doctors and Alexi Lawless?
I don't care. I'm sticking by it. If Alexi Lalas doesn't play the guitar, he should. He just looks like he should.
No, this is going to be interesting. That's for sure, guys. So now that we'll get into the one that you guys are really here for. Kuvs, I'll let you take over this here and lead it wherever you want.
Okay. Yeah, we're going on to the. What do we even call it? I've forgotten now. What's the name?
I think Parker almost got it right off the bat. As soon as we brought it up, he yawned. That's what.
Are we
what it
actually
was
going to
pretty
talk
much
about this
watching.
game?
Yeah. No.
Well, no. What's to say? I mean,
There's a lot to say, Kuva.
There's
There's a lot to say.
I didn't watch it, but I'm aware of sort of the gist of what happened during the game, and my view of it before the World Cup started was I saw the USA having a strong midfield. I didn't think they'd have a good defence, and I didn't think they'd be able to score goals. So I kind of thought it'd be a hard-working game, and I thought England's quality would be enough, but to get the win, but obviously not. So you'd have to say, well done, the USA, for giving England a bit of a battering there. They probably deserve to pick up all the points, to be honest, from what I was reading anyway. I'm sure lots of people that watched it would say the same, even Englishmen, unless, of course, the bias takes over, because sometimes it's okay to say that the opposition were better than you. And I got the impression this was one of those times.
Philly. And unfortunately, Kuva, you're right. And, I'm supporting England in this. And I was shocked that we got out of there with a 0-0 draw. I think I think U.S. deserved to win that game. They completely manhandled England. They had lots and lots of chances, man. Lots of chances. It was absolutely unbelievable how bad England were. It was shocking, considering they came off a 6-goal drubbing of Iran. But then again, everybody said right off that, don't read too much into that either. It's Iran. Let's not get too hyped up kind of thing. But it's not like Iran are a slack team. They're ranked number 20 in the world, right? So, and as you already addressed, Leo, we saw Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. So anything can happen in this World Cup. Now on to the Americans and their take. So, Coobs, who's up?
Oh, let's start off with Jacob then. As he said, he's got a lot to say on it. So, what's your take on that? What went wrong for America? Why didn't you actually take the points at the end of the day?
Because Pulisic plays for Chelsea. He was not able to get the ball to curve just perfectly enough to get under that post. I will say there's a few reasons why we were unable to get the win. And I will also say Greg Berhalter, I was a little bit surprised with his starting lineup because he actually made some smart decisions. I did not expect him to do that. But also he also made bad decisions at the same time. So to me, it's kind of, yes, I am of the mindset that we deserved the win. We should have won, and we failed to do so, and that is on us. But at the same time, we put the work on them. I thought Jude Bellingham was supposed to be the second coming of Jesus Christ walking on water when it comes to what he was fixing to do to us. I read all the bullshit. I ain't been on Twitter in a couple of days just because I was like, you know what, I'm going to read all this stuff and I'm going to just see how this game goes, because at the end of the day, I was one hand worried, another hand like these guys all play with each other. Tim Ream plays for Fulham and he's arguably our worst defender. But then there's also Walker Zimmerman. He plays for Nashville. That's an MLS team, if you didn't know. And he locked down Harry Kane when he was in the box at the end of the day. Uh, so when I think about this game, there were so many different points. I was just like, wow, this USA team is actually very impressive for such a young squad. Tyler Adams has been our captain now the second game running, and he's been fantastic in the role. And I think that really I don't know if it was so much England failing to do anything, or we were just putting too much pressure on them to where they didn't want to risk too much versus us, to where they were playing for the draw. But at the end of the day, to me, the Eagle remains undefeated, unscathed, unmarked, free as a bird should be. And there's nothing old soggy bag of tea could do to bring us down. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm thankful for. It was right around Thanksgiving time, and you're thinking about things to be thankful for. We've never lost to y'all in World Cup, so you can say all you want about MLS. You can say all you want about USM national team, this, that, if we qualify. When it comes to us, what you gonna do? Nothing. Not a damn thing.
You ain't got nothing.
You ain't doing nothing, as my man Conor McGregor would say. So that's it. That's really all there is to be said. There's nothing I can ever hear from no England fan talking shit to me about nothing, because
Yeah.
undefeated. How many times you beat us?
Well, and to be fair, my homie, you guys looked really good. England did kind of start the game off, on the right foot, but for some reason they just couldn't switch gears. And as soon as you guys were, attacking us, we definitely felt that presence that we probably didn't, that we underestimated, I guess I should say. Um, and especially when that crossbar got rattled by Pulisic, I know I was watching the game and I was nervous the whole game, dude. I knew that, the US they're not a pushover team. Just like you said, they have players, a mixed batch of players from, some that play in the Premier League. You got the dude from Norwich. You got the dude from Leeds.
Sargent's ass.
Um,
Tyler Adams is great.
so,
And Aronson is great as well.
yeah, for
They
sure.
both
He
play
was
for
good when he
Leeds.
was at Salzburg.
Mm-hmm.
So they do have some quality players, and it's not a knock on the MLS. The MLS is probably not the most touted, league that there is, but for sure they're I think you guys have a lot of players from the MLS, so it just goes
Mm-hmm.
to show, how you said earlier, someone said earlier, the competition here in the US is getting a lot better. And it's definitely good to see results like that. The last thing, look, I'll be real with you, the last thing I would have wanted to see was like you know, like a 5-0, a 4-0, just a game that like one team got pwned. So the fact that it was blow for blow, you guys peppered us a lot more than we did to you guys, but at the end of the day, bro, it was a good point. If I'm honest with you, I look at it 2 points dropped from an England perspective, just because the fact that they went into it as favorites, higher ranking from FIFA. That's basically the basis of my argument as to why they were favorites. But anything can happen any given Sunday, like they say. So
When you look at
I'm
the
definitely excited to see what I'm excited to see the next game, because for you guys, Jacob, if you guys don't put it to Iran, then this game really was for nothing. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Nothing.
The
Yeah.
No,
performance you guys had against Iran is gonna just be like looked over as, yeah, but you guys held England to the 0-0, but then you guys also drew 1-1 to Iran, and so,
what I do
but
want to say to that is this is I think an ideal situation. And I want Parker's opinion on this as well, because as a U.S. men's national team fan, this is a position which going into the World Cup, you're not thinking, oh, if we win this game, we make it out the group. To be in that kind of position, I think for one is an accomplishment, and if we get it done, it remains to be seen. But we have it all to play for, and I think that's all we could ask for as a fan. At least that's how I feel. But also, there was a comment that Stewart said. If we had a true striker, and that's the thing, Greg Berhalter, Triple G, he literally is the worst. He's Southgate American style. and he left off Ricardo Pepi, who is America's best striker. I do like Haji Wright, but when you start the first game with Josh Sargent, I'm sorry, Josh Sargent's not very good. That's just my opinion. I've never rated him very highly, and he's proven that. And I think that there's been a couple of missions that I think we could have done better from the squad just starting out, which then would affect us where we're at. But to me, there's all to play for. So I was excited with the draw because at the end of the day, I knew with the result that happened earlier in the morning. Is he okay? Is Jeremy okay?
No, but it makes me laugh.
Yeah, I just think there's everything to play for, and that's all we could ask for as a fan at where we were. And I really always saw this World Cup as a warm up to the World Cup in which we hosted, because I think all these players, they're still a little raw, a little green behind the ears. Let them get seasoned a little bit more. 4 more years, season them up, get them fried up, chicken right, and then guess what? You flip them, they're ready to go by the time the World Cup comes, and then I think we can actually make a serious push. But that's a talk for later days. But I still think there's a lot to be excited about. And the last point I wanted to make about this game was my wife was surprised, and she is never surprised. She watched Spurs sometimes, and she's like, wow, y'all suck. She feels the same way about U.S. men's national team. She's like, wow, y'all suck. And so she just never
I
gets
actually was
hype about it.
impressed with USA playing. I was like,
My
wow,
wife was
more
so-
entertaining than watching Spurs. I was like, wow, this is actually entertaining. They're doing tic-tac passing, triangle, connections. I was just like, wow, this is actually pretty good. But I think, yeah, like you said, like USA are pretty young right now, so they have like that less pressure than England do. England just have so much pressure, like, oh, it's coming home. Like everybody in England are behind them, right?
They going home.
And like a lot of Americans didn't even know we were even playing, so it's like they don't have that much pressure. But then you have things like Leo that like England too, so it's just like a lot of less pressure. England haven't won since 66 or something, so they just have. I think USA went out there, just kind of had fun a little bit, and like a lot of us are saying that was kind of like a win for us. But yeah, I think, I don't know, man, that was just really entertaining to watch, honestly. So I enjoyed that game a lot.
Parker, I'll open it to all of you actually, but start off with you. Do you think it helps that nowadays the USA getting more and more players out into like the European leagues to play their club football?
Yeah, and I think.
Is there a feeling now that that's the way forward, or is the MLS sort of becoming more pushing towards keeping the players in house, as it were?
No,
I think Europe will always be the top, place for football. And I think a lot of the other players on like England know this, right? Like they've played against a lot of these players, whether it's in Germany or whatever. But you just can't. You have to take them seriously now, right? Yeah, they're definitely not a pushover. You have to give USA credit for that win. Yeah, I'm just really proud of the boys. So.
But not only just for the American people that grow up playing MLS, you have the likes of like Almiron, who played in the MLS, and got that was basically his stepping stone to get to Europe. There's plenty of other people, don't get me wrong.
Paraguayan, unfortunately. He plays for Paraguay.
No, that's fine. But I'm saying like he used the MLS platform to show what he had, and now
won a cup,
he made
won
it to
the whole damn
Newcastle.
Shaboodle. Yeah, he did it all with the MLS.
Yeah.
So that's
you're
right.
So it's gradually becoming one of those leagues that is able to draw the players when they're older, but it's also one that's able to develop the player to further themselves. You see the Galaxy player, Ricardo Puig for Barcelona, that ended up going there. It happened a years back with the Toronto player, the Italian guy, that ended up going Jovinko. Yeah, he went to Canada, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Insigne from Napoli, he just signed for Toronto.
And I can almost go out on a limb and say, they're using, not just the MLS, but also Liga MX. A while back ago when Pierre Andre Gignac went to Tigres, who's still there, who he was a French international who now considers himself he's a Mexican citizen now. So these players, they know that the level of competition on this side of the world is not what it used to be, a long time ago when we had the USL. Now it's a reputable it's a reputable league, and players, probably would jump at the opportunity to start on a league like this because they know the eyes are on them, and they're gonna get the call up to. I mean, a jump up, dude, from the Rapids to Norwich. What player would deny? What player would not want to do that? You want to be an academy player here in Colorado. There's always going to be a chance that even a championship squad could pick you up, man. And a championship squad has a lot more money than these MLS squads. They have more potential to send you to an even bigger club. So, yeah, if I
Or
could,
get
if there's
promoted.
any, if there's any kids, or anything like that watching that, use it as motivation. The MLS is not, it's not a farmers league. It's not like just a step over league. They have
Does
players like Jacob alluded to. We're holding down Harry Kane and did not let him score a goal that game. Can that be said about other leagues? That are not on the map as a UEFA league.
I think
Yeah.
that's more credit to the World Cup itself as a whole than more of where the players come from. Players rise to the occasion when they put on their national jersey sometimes. I've seen players that we wouldn't rate all of a sudden just look like world-class stars. That's why previous to the World Cup starting, we all talked about the transfer window coming up in January, how it's going to be affected by performances in the World Cup. Because we all know a couple of games in the World Cup are good for you, and the hype is behind you, and your value is now inflated. Tavon Buchanan, for instance, for Canada, he's looked very, very lively. He's looked fantastic, and a lot of people are starting to talk about him. I think it was $8 million that he signed for Club Brugge, or he's on loan over there. I'm not too sure. I know he's up from an MLS club, and his value
Revolution.
is now. There you go, New England Revolution. So he's now, value has gone tripled on that. I just wanted to quickly, you guys, Kuva, start with you on this one. Phil's comment here.
It's written in the stars for Southgate to replace Conte. Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
I think it's the decline in the club. If we're getting rid of Conte, then it's
No, I mean,
down.
yeah, I meant the comment. Why would he say that in the comments? Not your answer to that. Why would he think Southgate is the next replacement? Why is that?
I think it's
Being facetious.
Yeah, I think so. It's a tongue-in-cheek thing. It's that's like as bad as it can get, really, isn't it?
Fair enough. What about you guys? Any thoughts towards that? Do you think there's any chance of Conte being replaced by Southgate? I'm just going to give it a straight no, zero, not happening.
Never thought about it in my life. So.
Yeah, not even going to happen.
No chance.
So it's about as likely as us bringing Nuno back.
Oh, but Ben Dad's a good comment here, though. Ben does when he fires shots, he hits his targets, and he's right here. Levy is a yes man lover. And
also, Jeremy's wrong. We don't play on plastic. There's only I think 5 MLS teams that play on artificial turf. The rest are real, and they also play on NFL stadiums that have real field as well. So that's just not true what you said.
Fair enough. And Phil's just letting us know he's just trying to get a bit of a wind up out of us, and it fucking worked, Philo. Thanks, Phil. Like, I wasn't depressed enough after that Croatia drubbing that I just got reminded myself of again. Now I'm pissed off again. I think we'd better just play a game or something. I don't know. So, Koovs?
Well, what are we on to then?
I think we're on.
We're doing some of the questions. Scott M saying, I think it'll be Posh that comes in for PR, but Southgate is a very real possibility. I'm just not seeing it myself. I don't think we're going to go with either. I don't think Pochettino will want to come back at this point. He's a start of a new project sort of manager. I don't think we've got a young squad that's ready to go for a Pochettino to take over.
But there are talks of him taking over England. You want to add that to whatever you're about to say?
I wouldn't like to say it personally. I think he's meant for club football, working with the players day in, day out, right the way through the year. If he was doing international football, actually the US would do well getting Pochettino. They've got a young squad, plenty of running in them. I think he could really do something with them. If you're prepared. Sorry.
I was gonna say, and Argentina maybe just because he's Argentinian.
Yeah, they've got quite a lot of their star players are getting on a bit now. Di Maria, Messi, really at the end of their careers now. It depends on the youth. It's Pochettino's all about youth, really, isn't he? He's get the young players in that he can mould into it, the sort of football he wants, and they'll buy into it more easily. If you've got those established players with the ego, it's a lot more difficult for him.
He is good at discovering
PSG.
Yeah, he's good at discovering.
Have I missed something? Have I missed something, or is I don't know why I don't know why Southgate or Pochettino would be replacing Antonio Conte in January or Ryan Mason. Is there
I think it's
something
all
that I
us.
haven't read or something?
No, I think what it is, Leo, and correct me if I'm wrong speaking on your behalf here, guys, but I think us as collectively as Spurs fans just see the writing on the wall already. Promises, promises, promises made, but no backing. And
end of the day, he's not signed a new contract yet, so there are doubts.
I disagree.
But I mean, January hasn't passed yet, guys. You know, so I mean, yeah.
This is how business works. Deadlines make deals. What are we talking about? A deadline that's a year away? That's not going to make a deal anytime sooner, regardless of results, money made, money lost, etc. To me, it's not a matter of Conte not showing or showing commitment. To me, the writing is not on the wall, Bobby K. So
I mean the writing on the wall is in terms of what the club, what we expect the club, the board, Levy to do. You know, we've had a 21-year pattern here. We're not talking about a change overnight that's going to come in, and there's not going to be a fresh wind all of a sudden that sweeps everybody off their feet into this football fantasy world that we all think that we should be in. You know,
I mean, for me, it's as simple as it's up to the club to offer the manager a contract. He can't sign a contract he isn't offered. So in that respect, if Levy believes Conte is the right manager for the job, surely he should be trying to get him on a longer term contract, secure his future, and then work on something. But since that's not happening, there are doubts. There are some people worried about it. I'm at the point now where I don't really care. I just want Levy out. It's been this constant theme of we don't really know what direction we're going in with this club. We seem to get a manager in just on their name, then don't give him the tools to do the job with, then move on to the next one. Different style, different squads of a mishmash of players from several management styles. Where are we going? There's no consistent plan over many years. That's why, myself included, I think I wouldn't be surprised at all if Conte's out in the summer. He'll just walk away from it. He needs to see something concrete. He's surely got to start off with a contract if you're going to do that.
What about this quick comment here from Stuart? What do you think's on this? We'll go all the way around the table with this one. Parker, why don't you start with it here? If Conte leaves from lack of backing, it really doesn't matter who the manager is, so it might as well be Ryan Mason. If that's the reason he leaves, just hypothetically, if Conte turns around and the board does what majority of us as fans think they're gonna do, which is not back him, God forbid, and he's shunned from the transfer window, or we give him options C, D, and E when A and B are available, but we just didn't want to.
Yeah, no, I don't think it'll matter because I think Levy's like looking for a miracle. Like he wants to hire somebody, you know, and then just expect results and stuff. It's just not going to happen. Like, so no matter who we have, it's not going to work. But you know, things could change. Yeah, I don't know. Right now, Conte, like, he has another chance at a window. So let's just really see what happens soon. And I know I know Levy probably doesn't like to spend a whole lot of money in January. So I don't know. I'm anxious about it. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of players. So, you know, it's about results. And if we don't spend the money, we're not going to get that result. So I don't know why he thinks we're going to somehow, you know, it's not going to happen like that. It's not going to be a miracle like that.
Leo, do you not see the club basically at least putting a little bit of money in? Parker's saying that, you know, he doesn't expect the overall overhaul to happen the way we want it to. But do you see a few players coming in that could possibly make the difference for us?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that. I think I would want to say, and this is my opinion, I think Levy and Enoch do feel that noose around their neck. I think they do feel the pressure that if they don't do something to back Antonio Conte, um, it's going to blow up in their face. Whether or not they care or not, that might be a different story. But we're to the point now where, like, I myself, being a Spurs fan since 2010, you guys have years on me being Spurs fans and have seen the continued pattern. I'm losing my patience. I can only imagine how you guys feel. So to be able to read through the lines, between the lines, and to see what's going on, it's worrisome. It does worry me, but at the end of the day, Ben hit it on the head with the hammer. He's obligated to stay with us until his contract runs out. Tottenham actually have the say whether or not we keep him for another year. Now, whether he wants to walk or not, that's a different story. But he's not going to be able to play for or coach another club until they pay off, until they pay it off. If that's right. So what's he gonna do? If he gets backed, then what's going to be his reasoning? That's been his reasoning for leaving the other clubs, right? Falling out with management, falling out with the board,
Yeah,
not
he
getting
has a
back.
history of that.
And so I think I'm a firm believer that people can change. The system can change, and I think that, like I alluded to earlier, the noose is definitely around Levy's neck, and he definitely feels fans, the whole fan base breathing down his neck to do something. And so if he doesn't bring in a couple of players this window, then I'm definitely going to be worried. But Conte himself has said this. He's happy here. He knows it's a process. He knows it's going to take numerous windows. If anybody, you guys, Antonio Conte has been the most real with us. And he's had different expectations compared to us as fans. He's the one that said, "I've now, what did he say? I've now, when he did his whole observation on the team, right? And he did his whole what's the fucking words that he used, Bobby? He's like his assessment. I've assessed the club. I've assessed the situation. I am now aware of what's going on. This is a smart guy. This is an intelligent person. So in his mind, if he thinks that he could just, block the sun with his big finger and make, and make believe that it's that no, the sun's still there behind his finger, and he knows that. He knows the situation, and he knows he knew what he was getting into before he even joined us. That's why he denied us in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then something we don't know what the conversations they had behind closed doors, nor will we ever know. But there's a reason why he decided to take this challenge up in the middle of the season, something he's never done before, right? And so if this window we don't get, another Bentancur, like the homie says, or another Kulusevski type player, then I'm going to be worried. But Conte also knows that if that doesn't happen this season, this transfer window, maybe there's something on the cards for summer. But I don't want to look that far out. I want to look at this window, and I want to look at somebody coming in this window to help us secure fourth place. Because the way we're playing right now, we're not playing Champions League football. We're playing, your conference league. We should be eighth, sixth, seventh, eighth place. And we're barely in fourth place, squeezing by. So Antonio Conte knows exactly what Antonio Conte knows what's in store. And maybe it's just everything going on right now, the World Cup. They have other fish to fry before he actually puts pen to paper. But I can probably say, I'm certain that they talk about it. It's just they're not going to put that out there for us to speculate.
Fair enough. Now, I think we've killed that one off there. We'll stop with the Conte one. So, Kuva and Jacob here, I want you to address this from Philo, if you don't mind. Kuva, you want to take that one over there, buddy? And you and Jacob can
Yeah, just saying, what does everyone think of Rishi to start up top with Kane behind as number 10 in the first game back? I'll go straight to Jacob with that one if you want.
Straight to me. Honestly, at this point, why not test things? Why not try to do something new? But at the same time, I also trust Old Sturdy. You know what I mean? And I feel like Antonio Conte is sometimes that kind of guy. When you go to do a job and there's a tool that you need, there's a tool that has gotten you a job. That's why when we started the season, the same, no matter who we brought in, the 11 has stayed the same. And I think that despite who we bring in January, unless it's right wing back or someone on the center back line, they're not going to start. So it's, to me, I don't know, because I'm still thinking about what Leo was saying, but then I'm also thinking about, Richarlison is having a hell of a time at the World Cup. That just remains to be seen if he's going to do it at the club level. He did it one game. He also had a nice outside of the boot assist for his first Premier League assist with us. Outside of that, I ain't seen much that he's done that can warrant the fact of like keeping out Kulusevski or keeping out Youngman Daddy, because at the end of the day, he just hasn't earned that right. And despite what he may go on and win the whole damn cup and be the Golden Boot winner, that's what Michael has predicted. But even if he goes on to do that, that doesn't mean he's done it for Tottenham. So as far as like that might be a nice dream it might be a nice thought. Maybe Antonio Conte tries that, and I wouldn't be against it if he did try. I don't think it's a bad idea. It sounds kind of gravy, but I just wonder who are you leaving out, because you're gonna have Heung-min Son, you're gonna have Kulusevski when he's healthy, and you got to imagine he's going to be healthy as soon as this. You imagine he's rearing to go right now. So can't wait to release that bull, but I just don't think that he's earned the starting position to say, oh, let's change our complete formation, move our star, our co-captain, you know what I mean, our runner-up captain, whatever you want to call him, and Harry Kane, who also got locked down by MLS defender named Walker Zimmerman from Nashville SC. I want y'all to remember that motherfucking name too, because he locked the best striker down in the world, okay? And not enough people are talking about it.
Oh, well, there's a comment, I believe Carl made it earlier, saying that he wasn't effectively locked down as much as it was Southgate basically putting him in the wrong spot. And
locked down. There's a replay where he's going for it and he's in the box, and what happens? He gets locked down by America's Eric Dyer. I want that to sink in. America's Eric Dyer just locked him down, and I think it's great. It was a welcoming sight for American. And it's just quite fun banter. I hope Harry Kane can shake this off, because I don't see England going very far.
That's fair. That's fair. As the whole debate with Kane and Richarlison up front, I think you'd have to play them as a pair anyway. Kane's it's his instinct to drop back anyway, so you might as well call them a front two then. Perhaps playing a 3-5-2, something along those lines, or better still, just playing the. Instead of the 3-4-3, just go to a 2-4-4. We'll just drop Dyer. Just drop Dyer, bring Richarlison in to check it. Nobody's going to notice if Dyer's not picked. It's just.
I know one person that'll notice. Kuva, come on now.
Yeah, I think Kane's got that ability, much like Teddy Sheringham used to have for us years back, especially when paired with Klinsmann. Klinsmann would be the advance forward. Sheringham used to drop deeper and link up play. This is what Harry Kane does naturally anyway. You could play them as a front two. I think the fact that Richarlison's so aggressive physically and happy to chase around and run his socks off for people, I think he would occupy those defenders a little bit more as well. Could create space for some of our more creative players in and around the box. It's definitely an option as far as I see. The pairing the two of them, but as he said, you've then got to be looking at realistically. You're either dropping Son or Kulusevski, and do you really want to do that? I wouldn't.
Right now, depending on how he comes back, I'd say it's okay to kind of consider at least.
The sad thing is, if you want to get the best out of Richarlison, he probably does need to play in that centre forward role.
Yeah.
I think he definitely doesn't seem to play on the right very well.
Limited
success on the left, or it could just needs more time to settle in, new teammates and everything. Not everybody hits the deck running with a new club. It could be that easy. I think he's definitely got some merits to what he brings to the team, but he doesn't look like the sort of 30 goals a season striker that people would have hoped for.
Even 15 or 20. just enough to kind
Yeah,
of make the difference in a few competitions for us.
if he's going to play in the wide positions, he's going to struggle to get 5, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not-
Seems like the bigger
unfortunately,
the stage, the better he does. Like that's what I've got to notice. Like he scored in our championship games,
I think
and as the season progresses, like our games are going to get more important, right? Like,
and he's
we got the
hungry
FA
though.
Cup.
It seems like at least.
I'm
So
sorry.
he seems like he's at least hungry.
Yeah,
which is-
absolutely.
which
He
is
just
nice to see a
relishes
little bit
in
of
those
fight in
big
the player.
opportunities.
So
some
see what
some
happens.
players definitely do step up to the plate. Oh, it's an American phrase, isn't it? Stepping up to the plate.
Step up to the plate, batter
Boom,
up,
There you
when,
go.
dig your
Yeah,
heels
when,
in.
when they're given the
Yeah, better.
extra responsibility. So if he's told, right, you're going to be the main striker for a few weeks here and see what you can do, that might bring the best out of him. He might sort of bring out his best game from that point of view. But Kane, you just have to have him alongside. He will do his own thing. He will drop back when needed. He'll pick up the ball. Deep
Hopefully his
position.
ankle's
But you
fine.
need somebody to play the ball too. That's the problem, right? And it was the same issue with England the other day as well, right? He was dropped back, but then he's got nobody up there to play to. Jacob, is that your little one that we're hearing in the background a little bit there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I keep trying to
don't
mute myself.
don't be sorry. I know that we do have a time limit that we're almost actually going over already a little bit, and I know you have time constraints. So I do have two little things that I want to just bring up quickly, and then we'll get into our final game and get into the wrapping up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Jesh, but happy birthday, Bob. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This quickly here. John's comment from earlier, I held on to it here because I think he's right and he's spot on with something. England aren't getting a World Cup because the supporters don't know the meaning of good behavior. I just don't get it. You go to a World Cup to have fun, not to kill someone. It's madness. You know, we see England fans consistently ruining it for, well, other England fans because we know that this is a small minority that ruins it for a majority, like in the case for everything pretty much. So, let's start with Parker on this one. Parker, do you think that England has basically their fans are the reason that they are kind of not being given the World Cups or being overshadowed by countries that a lot of people feel that should
honestly,
deserve a World Cup?
I never thought about that. Yeah, that could be a possibility. Because you know how they destroy stuff. I mean, they knock over fences and they just they're hooligans. I mean, like you said,
look
a
at the
small
Euros.
majority of them. But
Look at the Euros, the end of the Euros, beating up Italian fans as they came up, beating up kids, families. Men were sheltering their wives.
yeah, it could get messy. So, well, I don't know. Honestly, I've never thought about it, but yeah, I don't know.
Jacob,
I'd have to say about that. It's England always comes up with this sort of thing, but there are other countries that are just equally as bad. You got the Dutch have got a problem with hooliganism. Italy, they've got all their ultras and amongst the teams. It happens with Germany, Russia,
France.
It's kind of a warlike European tribal thing going on half the time. They go nuts in South America as well, don't they?
yeah, that's what Scott's saying here. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just seems to be, unfortunately, we get a reputation for it because we are regularly one of the nations that does this kind of thing. Shit sticks basically, doesn't it? So
No one's perfect.
It's been a problem for a very long time for us. So drinking culture in our nation, it kind of goes hand in hand. It tends to be alcohol related all the time.
Tends to be.
Yeah, but out in Qatar or Saudi Arabia or something like that, shouldn't be, should it?
Should be. What do you boys think, Jacob and Leo? Leo and Jacob.
I think it's a little weird to point fingers anywhere as a citizen of any nation in this world because everyone's got their positives, everyone's got their negatives, and to say, oh, the fans get rowdy, maybe that's why they shouldn't have a World Cup. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I just think, do you have the means? Is it the size, the transportation? That's the things I need to be looking at. The access to outside fans getting into the country and being able to roam freely, I guess, wherever all these World Cup games are going to be happening. We know they got the facilities for it, but do they have the means of the transportation for an influx of millions of people? That's the part that I would look at before I look at any kind of policy. That's just me.
Fair enough. Leo.
Yeah, Jacob kind of alluded to this earlier about, the stadiums being older. They are, some good venues. Don't get me wrong. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know where most of these games would be played at, but like Old Trafford is a shit stadium. It's old. It's just,
It's old.
it's like a bucket list venue. You know what I mean? One of those places
Yeah.
that you want to go see. The Empty Had is one of like the biggest ones. Stadiums. We have our stadium, of course, but other than that, I think the infrastructure maybe is probably what's not getting them the bid. Again, uh, does England have or the UK have the means to house the large influx of people like what we talked about? Um, and also too, the fact that people start getting faded and they act like some hooligans, doesn't help as well. You're kind of like not helping the purpose, the situation out if you're gonna be doing shit like that, you know. Um, but don't get me wrong, there's people here
But
that
a
watch,
lot of people are saying
NFL
it's not
and
just England. There's
yeah, for
people saying
sure.
it's not just
And
England.
that's
Like it happens in other countries, but they don't get pointed out the way
and
England fans do.
no, and that's a fair shout, but at the same time, you're also not seeing these countries getting picked either. How long has it been since, little by little, yeah, you got the France, but they're not really going to these countries that are really known for being, hectic like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Fair enough.
Russia, Italian 90. Uh, where else have I
Yeah, a
been?
long time ago. South
A
Africa,
long time ago. Long time ago for
yeah,
you, maybe. For me, that's almost yesterday.
yeah.
But just quickly, it is Stuart's birthday. It's past midnight over there. So, Stuart, loyal supporter of the channel, really appreciate your support. Happy 40th
Yeah.
birthday to you, young man. Finally into your 40s here. We know Jacob is fast running out of time, and we have gone over time. So, let's get right into the last part of the show here.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Shut up now! It's game time.
All right, gentlemen, it is game time. One more time. This is the last
You
and final
don't
game.
introduce it and then play the clip. You just play the clip, mate. It ruins it.
Oh, okay. So I'll just play it again?
No. We're good.
Oh,
We're
okay.
good.
Okay, but now can I introduce it?
Go on then.
All right, thanks. Sorry, Coovs. I'm upset today, man. My team got fucking hammered, bro. I've been on a down.
It's okay, man.
I feel like Stell right now, like just a big black cloud. Like,
Look, we're Spurs fans. We're used to this.
no, I don't want to. I'm just so sick of it. This is happening all the fucking time, and then I keep looking at Leo's red and white
You get your
scarf,
hopes
and
up.
it just
You get
reminds me of
smashed by somebody you don't want to.
Why did I have kids? Oh, I mean, sorry. Yeah. So it is time for Spot the Bull, gentlemen. It is very simple. We have three
Bobby,
categories.
I'm so sorry. I do gotta go. I'm
You
so
do
sorry
gotta
to the
go.
panel.
Not
I'm
to
really
worry,
sorry.
Jacob. Not to
My
worry,
son
man. We
is
know you got
my
commitments,
son's
buddy.
upset right now, so I do
It's
gotta
okay.
go.
Not to worry. We appreciate.
I love you
coming
all.
on.
My answers are all Tottenham or all USA if the answers have those choices.
You can
big
come
ups.
back in
Jacob.
after and give your answers. In
I'll join in the
chat.
chat once I get settled with my son for
No
a sec.
problem.
But
Why
I'll join
don't
in the
you
chat. But
just quickly give us all your details before you head out here, buddy?
Yeah.
We'll add your link, your show link into the description of the show afterwards and everything. But why
big
don't you
ups.
tell them where they can find you, buddy?
United Spurs of America on YouTube. We just passed 400 subscribers, so that was fun. I'm going to share a nice 400 story. And then if USA make it out of the group, I'm going to do a nice little acapella USA song that I've annoyed my family with for the past year. So I will share it with the world if we make it out of the group. If we do not, it will just remain something I annoy my family with. But again, United Spurs of America, big ups to everyone who subscribed. Big ups to everyone on this panel. You've all come on and contributed. Actually, Leo and Parker. Parker, you haven't made your debut yet, so we'll have to have a little Mile High takeover once this World Cup wraps up and that English flag can get hung up on Leo's wall. We'll have to sort that part out. But once that thing gets hung back up on the wall, we'll do some Spurs content.
Yeah.
But big ups, Bobby. Thanks for having me. Big ups, Kuva.
Jacob.
Love
Thanks
the
for
show.
coming, man. Appreciate you
big ups
coming on,
everyone in
buddy.
the chat. Cheers, guys.
See you
Cheers,
later.
Have a
mate.
great night,
Later.
Jacob. All the best. Get over, guys. Give United Spurs of America some love. Great channel over there. Jacob, Michael putting some good stuff together here. We do have a special request. I can't say no to Aaron. So, boys, just cover your ears quickly. Stuart, this is for you, baby. Hey, happy birthday,
my
Stuart! Yay! Yeah, I'm clearly not the Indian that can make a fucking cobra come out of a basket. So that is it.
Oh,
Gentlemen,
yeah.
it is game time now. It is time for Spot the Bull. So it's very simple. It's Mile
All right.
High Face Off. Kuva, we got the show going.
Ooh, Mile High Face Off. I like that.
We're battling each other. It's good.
Yeah. We're good. We're good. We're
Good thing
good.
you slipped Jacob that $5 to bounce early so we could have these two battle each other. Nice one.
Absolutely.
Well
That's
played.
what it
Well
really
played.
was, right, Bobby?
Yeah, well played. Yeah, it was $5 US, so I got Kuva to pay instead because that's like $9 for me in Canada and only like £3 for him. So
That's true.
just Indian math dictated.
Actually, to be fair, Jacob paid us to do this, so he said, "How can I break up a rival channel?"
That's true too. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to tell him.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Remember
So far.
USA, red, white, and blue. We
Yeah,
love
that's
each other.
right, that's right.
Yeah, brotherly love. All right, gentlemen, it is time for Spot the Bull. There are 3 stories in each category. There are 3 categories, which means you are going to get 9 stories. In the first category, in the 3 stories, 1 will be real, 1 will be made from the Kuv, and 1 will come from myself. It is your job to determine which story is real, which one is from the Kuv, and which one is from the Kang. So, gentlemen, are you ready for Spot the Bull?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. It's all yours, Kuvs.
Okay, we'll start off with the first story then, which
I
is
guess
cool.
it helps if I bring
Oh,
up
yeah,
the
it will.
banners. Yes.
And
thank
as you can see the title there, Wee Tot Sent to Prison. And this happens in November 1906. A small child, barely 3 years old, was brought into a Swiss court charged with the crime of stealing 2 penny toys dangling from the doorway of a shop. The child admitted to the crime, but explained, although he could not speak very well, that he did not have toys like the other boys. The magistrate was unmoved. He sentenced the child to 3.5 months imprisonment, and as the parents cried for mercy, he shouted at the gendarme, "Remove the prisoner." Bit harsh, isn't it?
Just a bit.
Right, second story is the heavy price of peas. In December 1945, a 9-year-old boy was brought before a magistrate in an Australian court, charged with theft of a bag of dried peas. As the country, like many others, was recovering from a considerable war effort, food was rationed and in short supply. Stiff penalties were in place to deter shoplifting, and theft of vegetables carried a 1-month prison sentence per item. Upon sentencing, the judge mistakenly declared a jail term of 1 month served consecutively per pea instead of concurrently. The bag of 912 peas added up to a whopping 76-year prison sentence. Of course, the term was not served, and the boy merely ordered to spend 2 weeks helping to paint and varnish the courthouse. So that's
Interesting. So that was heavy price of peas. Now it's
yeah,
congrats.
76 years. And finally, Gramstein, or Gramstein, if you like, Bamberg in Germany, so it'll be Gramstein, holds the record for the youngest arrest ever made in the country. In July 1994, Ida Ramstein had enough of her 4-year-old grandson Daniel's tantrums and called the police. Ida's former husband was a retired officer who still had friends in the department. Ida called and explained how Daniel was now physically striking his 77-year-old grandmother. Officers came and simulated an arrest and went as far as taking Daniel into custody. They took the young boy down to the police station and put him in an empty cell as punishment for a short time. So you got
There
your
you
3
go,
stories
gentlemen.
there.
There's all your 3 stories. Go ahead, Koof. Sorry.
Yeah, so you got the wee tot sent to prison, who was just 3.5 months and prison sentence for less than a 3-year-old. You got the heavy price of peas, where the Kid got sentenced to 76 years for stealing peas. And you got Gramstein, where the boy was sent to prison to teach him a lesson, even though it was a fake imprisonment. So you got to work out which is the true one, which is my fake, and which is Bobby's fake.
So Parker, is We Taught Sent to Prison Kuva's, mine, or real?
That is yours, Bobby.
You're saying this one's mine, okay? And Leo, do you think I made this up, Kuva made this up, or did this really happen?
That one is yours too, Bobby.
You're going with that as well, okay? And then the second one is the heavy price of peas. So the 76-year term it was altogether once they counted the individual peas. So
Yeah.
is that made up by, since you guys said me already, is this made up by Kuva then, or is this real?
I think it's a good story, but made up by Kuv.
I think this one's made by Kuva. And Leo?
I think this one is real.
You think this one
Okay.
is real? Okay. And the last one then is Gramstein, you said? Yeah, Gramstein.
It'd be Gramstein if it's German, yeah.
Gramstein called the cops on her grandson, right?
I think that one's real just because Kuv didn't even know how to say it really, so he obviously probably didn't make it.
Unless Kuva's really good at deceiving people on this game.
I was about to say, or that could just been strategy, Parker.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Leo, so you said this one would be
That's
Kuva's by
Kuv's.
default, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
okay, gentlemen, I can say that you guys, well,
Not a clue.
No. Parker, you got 1 point. Unfortunately, Leo, you got none. The real story in this is the We Taught Sent to Prison, the 3-year-old boy who was caught stealing penny toys from the hanging at the store display window and sentenced to 3.5 months at only the age of 3.5 is actually a true story. The heavy price of peas comes from the mad genius mind of this beautiful, sexy man right here. And of course, which means Gramstein is mine. So, gentlemen, in the first round, we could see that Parker got a point and Leo, unfortunately, has 0. There's plenty of points still on the table here, gentlemen. There are plenty of points. Let's see here, too. George went with Kuva, Kang, and True. So, George got 1 point as well. You mixed up the me, and that's it. You said it's not true, Aaron, but who made it up? Stuart went with me, True, and Kuva. So Stuart, normally you're good at this game, man. You got this one. Yeah, Stuart 0 for 3 on this one. Yeah, I think 1 is correct. Well, we know 1 is correct, Aaron. I think Aaron's just fucking with us at this point, Kuva.
Unless he meant the first one. He meant the first one. Then
I made the second one. Nope. So that's the one Kuva made, actually. Carl is saying that it was. Yeah, so Carl is saying Kuva, True, and Bobby, and Carl got 1 point, so he got mine. Yeah, he got mine. Okay.
Yeah, we got them this week.
Oh, Aaron. Yeah, okay, Aaron. Yeah. He's got he's catching on to something here. So that is the first 3. Round 1 is done. Gentlemen, are you ready for round 2?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Go for it, Coovs.
This is high octane entertainment at its best, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
Here we go. Shaken, not stirred. In July 1988, the University of Western Australia commissioned a study to see if cows would produce thicker, creamier milk if they were kept in a shed with a vibrating floor to artificially churn the milk. A squandered budget of over 36,000 Australian dollars and the firing of Pete Thorne, the head of science, suggested that the 3-month experiment did not conclude well. So that's basically if they blown their $36,000 budget to seeing if they can shape the cows up to get thicker, creamier milk.
You said blown. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Secondly, Sun-Sweet oranges. In June 1957, Frank Sweet made an attempt to have his brand Sun-Sweet oranges become the best oranges from Florida. Frank decided he would add copious amounts of raw sugar to the soil in his orchard. Unfortunately, Frank did not get the results he wanted and attracted a disease called citrus canker. As a result, Frank's entire orchard was wiped out. All 150 acres were lost and never recovered. The disease had spread in the soil and made the land infertile. So a bit of a mess trying to get the sweetest oranges by adding sugar to his soil. But didn't work.
Didn't work.
And finally, music impregnated milk. August 1910, Mrs. Scott Durand of Lake Bluff, Illinois, arranged for 9 musicians to serenade her cows as they were being milked in order to test the theory that cows give more and better milk while listening to music. She reported that the music impregnated milk not only tasted better, but had a more happy effect upon the drinkers. She found that her cows responded best to classical waltzes, but grew restive when ragtime was played. So
interesting. So there you go. So there's your 3 stories, gentlemen. Goose.
So you've got the cows in Australia being shaken to produce thicker, creamier milk. You've got the sun-sweet oranges where the farmer put a load of sugar into the soil in his orchard and ruined it. And you've got the music-impregnated milk where literally musicians were hired to play music to the cows to improve the taste of the milk.
There you go.
But to work out which is, again, which is the true one, which is by me and which is by Bobby.
That doesn't help. I shouldn't do that. Okay, so Leo, let's start with Leo. Leo, shaken, not stirred. Shaking the cows to produce better milk. Is that true? Is that from Kuva or is that from me?
That's from you, Bobby.
That's from me. Okay. And Parker?
That one is true.
You're saying this one is true? Okay.
Sir.
And the second one then, Leos?
I'm going with that's Kuv.
This one is Kuva. Okay. And Parker?
I agree with Leo. I think this one's Kuv's as well.
I think this one is Kuv's. So then by default, you are saying the last one here, the music for the cows then is...
True for me.
You're saying that's real then for you, and both of you say it's real. Oh no,
I think that.
Oh,
one's
you
real.
say this one's mine. Okay, right.
Yeah.
You said true for the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I can safely tell you that the score is now tied.
Yeah, again, they're not getting them this week.
This week, baby. Yeah, we're getting better at this. We're getting better at this. So, shaken, not stirred is in fact the mad mind of this lovely man right here. And Sunsweet Oranges is a story that I made up. Something to do with sugar should always involve Indian people. You guys should know better than that. Music to make the cows happy is in fact a true story. So from that round, Leo gets a point, and Parker unfortunately went 0 for 3 in that round. Gentlemen, we are down getting into the final round here. Let's see what our chat had to say here. Carl Simpson said it was Bobby, true, and Kuva. And Carl went, nope, wrong, and wrong. So Carl went all 0 for 3. Bobby K, Kuva, and true. So yeah, you got 1 point here, Georgie. You got the last one right there. Same with Stuart just mixed. No, Stuart got it. No. Stuart mixed you and me up. Yeah. So Stuart got 1 point there at least, but we'll lie and give him 3 because it's his birthday. Should we give him birthday bonus points? Want to give him some?
Yeah. Nobody's getting all of them right, are they?
No. That's good. Yeah. So let's see here.
We're getting better.
We are getting better at this. So Aaron said Bobby, Kuv, and Rio. So Aaron got 1 point as well. Carl said he's shit at this game. You know what, Carl? That's fantastic, which means me and Kuva are finally figuring out how to do this shit properly, because that's the whole point, right? So on to the third and final round. Gentlemen, off he goes. There you go, sir.
Right, first of all, the helmet gun. In 1916, Albert Bacon Pratt of Linden, Vermont, was issued a patent was issued a patent for a gun adapted to be mounted on and fired from the head of a marksman. The wearer fired the gun by blowing into a tube. The trench warfare of World War I had inspired Pratt. He hoped that this invention would free soldiers from having to carry a gun in their hands and merely shot it from their helmet. Second one, we are on to Bond Gets the Hump. September 2013 saw the opening of the USA's first spyware museum. Although the meaning was entirely different as it is today, relics of the early Cold War between the USA and USSR were on display for members of the public. Among the exhibits were an explosive cushion, a magnetic hat pin with radio tracking, and perhaps the oddest of all, a fake camel. So that's Bond Gets the Hump. And lastly, In the Wall. December 2021, Sebastian Mueller had made an amazing discovery in Wilhelm, Holland. Sebastian had purchased an old cottage in Wilhelm and decided to do some renovations. When attempting to remove a wall to create an open concept, Sebastian made a unique discovery. In the wall separating the kitchen and the living room, several paintings had been hidden. Upon researching it, was found to be a private collection of paintings stolen from the Louvre's basement. These paintings carried an estimated value of 6 million euros in the current market. So we have the helmet gun for used in trench warfare. We've got Bond Gets the Hump, where the oddest of all the spyware items on display was a fake camel. And we have the hidden painting collection stolen from the Louvre, which I'm having trouble saying for some reason. So
The Louvre. We're not French. It's all good, buddy.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you're nearly French, aren't you?
No, I'm on the other part of Canada.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, on the other side. Yeah,
That's
West Coast, baby, or middle, or actually, no, I'm East Coast. Never mind. All right, gentlemen, what do you say? So, the helmet gun, is this a true story? Is this from Kuva or is this from Bob? Parker, your turn to start this one.
Okay. I think this one's yours, Bobby.
I think this one is mine. Okay. Leo?
I believe it's yours as well.
Okay. And the second one then is Bond Gets the Hump. This was the relics on display. Right. Okay, yes.
That one I believe is true.
This one is true. Okay. Leo? Is this true or is this
I'm going
Kuva's?
with I think that's Kuva's.
You think this is Kuva's? Okay. Which means the last one then, by default, you say that this one is Kuva's, right, Parker?
Yeah.
And then you would say that you would say this
True.
is Kuva's as well, right?
No, it's true.
No, Kuva.
I got Bobby, Kuva, and then True.
Oh, you want Bobby, Kuva, then True. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so I should have put that there, this here, this there, and that there. Well, gentlemen, we do have a winner. This Kuva, one of them actually won.
Who won?
Yeah, but again, they did really, really shit in this round. It was fantastic. This is great. I love this.
This is one of these games where you can only score 3, 1, or 0, isn't it? So
that's true, but that's okay because as long as it's not 3, right?
Yeah.
Out of a 9-point total, we have Parker wrapping up his day with 1 point. We have Leo, who is the grand champion of Mile High Hotspur, finishing with 2 points. Which means the last stories, gentlemen, the helmet gun is in fact a true story. This was an invention that was made for trench warfare, and what the trench warfare is what inspired it. Bond Gets the Hump. Just because I am Indian, I know that you guys thought that it might be me because of the camel inclusion, but no. In the wall, of course, a little tribute to the man celebrating his birthday as well. Bob's birthday, big up, buddy, and that was from me. So Congratulations to Leo on winning today's episode and round of Spot the Bull. Let's just quickly see what they got in the comments here. Shit, I don't even know how far up I gotta go.
Cole Simpson got all 3 this time.
Carl got all 3 this time. Hey, nice one, Carl. He said 0 points. He actually got 3. Which one? George got 1. No, George got him wrong. Nope. Nothing for Wolvesy either. Daniel, no idea here. Neither do we, Daniel. That's why I got to write this shit down to him. But we confuse. I confuse us with our own bullshit. That's the point we're getting to. Stuart, for 3. Stuart, man, come on. I think Stuart must be really celebrating and enjoying his birthday or something, or having a good time or something, or just
as he should.
As he should. Yeah. And that is it, because Parker looks like he's ready to go to bed, and it's 5:30. Is it not over there?
I'm yawning like crazy right now. Sorry.
And are you not like the youngest one here on the panel and the only one with no kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So on that note, folks, if I could just take a moment and say that this guy here gets 0 fucking sympathy if he's yawning, because he's got no kids. It's 5:30 in the afternoon. It's cool.
Worse still, when we said you had no kids, you actually grinned a bit there.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. He was like laughing at us.
Into the wounds.
Yeah, it was like he's just like ha ha ha. He could have just pointed and laughed at the camera. It would have been easier. But that is it for us, gentlemen, this week. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you guys taking the time out. Big up to you boys, of course. Big up to Jacob as well, who took the time out to join us this week. Why don't you let us know where everybody can find you, and we will definitely be attaching the link in the description as well, folks. So get on over and give them some love. So go ahead, guys.
Yeah. Parker, you want to go ahead and you have a Parker's pitch coming up anytime soon?
Yeah, so I do Parker's pitch, which is also part of Mile High Hotspur, just a different segment that I do, kind of like Kuv The Kang. But yeah, that one I'm probably not going to do anything until Tottenham comes back, until club football's back. So, but yeah, Leo, do you want to talk about the actual live streams that we do?
Yeah, so you can find us at Mile High Hotspur. We're trying to do streams on Thursdays in the evening our time, so you have to forgive me. I know you guys are 7 hours ahead out there in the UK, but we're trying to nail down that Thursday night spot. And yeah, with the World Cup being here, it's a little bit it's different, because we are more or less a Tottenham related, podcast. So we'll definitely try, maybe do like some rumors. We do have the window coming up, so we're definitely going to be, talking about some rumors. Hopefully, all of our players come back, fresh and fit, and we don't have to worry about anything, bad happening. But yeah, we encourage you guys, and we invite you guys to head over to Mile High Hotspur, where Bobby K actually is a frequent flyer over there on our channel. Kuva, you're more than welcome too, brother. And while I have the floor, I just want to say big up to Stuart. Happy birthday, Stuart. You're always watching our streams and stuff like that. So it's definitely a good supporter of the whole community, not just a few channels, the whole community. So big up to you, my man. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Yes, sir.
When you wake up, because I know your birthday barely now, right? Because he's
31 minutes old. He's 31 minutes into his birthday. He's got 23 and a half hours of celebration to go.
Yeah, I mean, just make it 2 or 3 day celebration. Why not?
Do it Indian style. Yeah, we do weddings for 4 days, so why not?
Yeah, for sure. Is that because they marry 4 different ladies, or?
No, wrong Indians. Yeah, my wife won't even let me have a girlfriend. She's selfish and greedy like that. But I don't know. That's
a keeper. That's a keeper.
Yeah,
but no, you guys are always more than welcome. And thank you guys for letting us be a part of the Kuv The Kang. My second time. I'm glad Parker's finally able to
Parker's
join me
debut
on
on
some
3
of these
Spurs
streams.
boys. Yes.
Yeah, finally. Thanks for having me, man.
So.
Appreciate it.
And Ben was kind enough to drop your guys' link in the chat already. So, guys, if you can get over and show the boys some love here, they got a great little thing going on over there at Mile High Hotspur, bringing some more love into Colorado, expanding the Spurs nation, of course. And what more can we want in this world than just more Spurs fans to share our misery with? Because it makes the world a better place, right, Coops?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't have everybody
I don't
else
wanna be
enjoying
miserable.
themselves.
Yeah,
The
fuck these
Spurs.
happy people. Disgusting. They're all smiley and shit like that. Oh, it's
And
absolutely
hopefully in the meantime, Canada can go out of the World Cup in style and the USA progress.
What the fuck, girl? You're fucking to be a fucking of Sanjay with fucking of comments like the fucking of this, man. But that is it for us this night. Guys, again, a big shout out to Bob Spur having celebrating his birthday yesterday, technically now. His has just ended, so we go from Bob on to Stuart. So one birthday celebration into the next. Wishing both of you gentlemen happy birthdays and many more healthy, happy years ahead of you. And thank you again for all the support you provide the channel, guys. We will just sign you guys off right now. Parker, Leo, don't jump away on us. We will be back in a minute, but thanks for coming on, guys. And that is it for us this week, Coobs. I've got anything else?
Pretty good.
Yeah, sorry, I was a little bit down today, so I know I didn't bring much energy into the show. That was I know. I tried though. I'm not happy.
I mean, come on, you only know about ice hockey over there.
I know, no, but I'm like a coconut, like because I'm so brown on the outside, white on the inside. So I know a bit about cricket too, right?
Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
I know a little bit about cricket.
Better luck next time. That's
okay. We only got to wait 4 more years, but that's it. Are we done?
We're done.
Anything else you want to add?
Nope.
No?
Done.
Should we pop our tops off quickly before we go, or just leave them in suspense for next week?
That's always for behind the scenes, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you again, everybody, for joining us for another episode of Kuv The Kang here. We hope to be back next week, and hopefully you guys will all be back to join us. A lot of you in the chat today, and appreciate all the comments and the interaction. So thank you to all the usuals that are out here. Have yourselves a wonderful Sunday evening, and I hope you have a great start to your week. See you next time. Come on, you Spurs, even though they're not playing.
Come on, you Canada. Oh, sorry.
Right.
Okay. Just end it.
We sang in France, we sang in Spain, we sing in the sun and we sing in the rain. They tried to stop us, but look what they did. The thing we love most is being a kid, being a kid, being a kid. The thing we love most is being a kid.
Come on, you Spurs!
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Why did you have to say that whole Canada thing, dude?
You're on the wrong side now.
I know. Oh, do we flip side? Look over here. Oh, shit, we're live. See ya.